Man, so here we are. What is up, guys? It is Austin, and I wanted to make this video updating you guys on my Tesla short. If you remember, I think it was actually just the last video that I uploaded. I hadn't uploaded in a few days. I flew back from Boston back here to California at home, and man, I've been monitoring Tesla over the last few days. And I did actually record a video, but I didn't get around to uploading it. So I'll just make this now as kind of an update. And I'm just obviously thrilled with how this is working out just perfectly. And I want to start maybe by going to just kind of a daily view of Tesla and kind of reminding you guys of what I was looking at here. So I initiated the trade, I believe it was on the 12th right here. And yeah, it was definitely on the 12th. I remember I took this trade, the original trade, you can see what I have left on. So I did take some profit today, but the original trade was I had of 20 of these put spreads that I bought. And you can see my average price right here. So it's all here verified, 53 cents I bought these 140 puts for. And then I bought 20 of these, I sold 20 of these, and then I ended up, I also bought just one of these, just naked ones, 140 puts. So I had 21 of these and short 20 of the 135 puts. And for all in, I literally just sketched this out on a notepad. I kind of already vaguely knew what I was in for, but I just wanted to get it down to like the penny basically. So including costs of the trade and everything, I was in for about $542 for this trade. And needless to say, after today was actually the first day I took any profit on the trade. I was trying to let this thing ride, but man, Tesla has been so volatile. But it's like almost right after I initiated this trade. I mean, it was already weak and bearish, but man, that bearish sentiment has just really come in. All this kind of stuff going on around Elon right now. He put that pull up. He might be stepping down. Well, it looks like he will be stepping down. But beyond that, that's not even the whole issue, right? It's just Tesla on a foundational level is facing these demand issues. And anyway, so it's more of like a fundamental thing. But anyway, there's so many downside factors. We can see only 3 days left to expiration, but we got a close today of 138. So let's go back to that view. I took the trade on this day here on the 12th. And I remember it was at about 172, 173 maybe when I entered the trade. Again, 20 put spreads for 140 strike by 135 and expiring, I mean, this Friday, so only on the just the 23rd. So I knew that if it was going to work, that's why I was only in for 500 bucks. It's like I love when I do take options trades. I mean, you guys know that mostly what I do is I day trade, and I did take trades today on the day trading side, which we'll get into in a second. But mainly, I want to talk about the Tesla trade in this video. But when I do take options trades, which I don't normally do, I do like to have them be pretty short time frame, maybe a couple weeks out, unless it's a longer term thing. But for those swing trades, I like to look for out of the money plays that can net me very high returns, really high risk reward. So I was like, all right, 550 bucks pretty much all in. I can take that hit and let that just everything expire worthless. But I really feel confident in this play. And if we zoom out, you can start to see just the kind of severity of this decline in Tesla right now, just melting through. And so it had this kind of support level around 170, 160. And now it's just cranking through that. And, I didn't pick the 140, 135 strikes on, just randomly. 135 is a support level that I have drawn out here. I think this is a congestion zone that it could start to maybe chop around in. But I mean, just looking at this just daily picture right now going into tomorrow, right? We're really starting to break away and you can see kind of the downtrend accelerating. So I'm not going to rule out the possibility that tomorrow we get, a kind of one more extension day, which would be great because as you saw, I'm still holding the majority of the position, although I did take some profit today. So if we could get another gap tomorrow, an extension lower, my max profit will be at 135 or lower because at that point it's just one for one on both the short put and the long put. So at 135, that'll be my max profit. And I did end up today selling that extra naked put that I had here. And the reason for that is that, well, one, I want to be taking profit on this. If we got some sort of news overnight, which is not out of the question, then that would, pump the stock $10 a share. Then I'd be completely out of the money, and everything I have left would if it ends up that way on Friday, it would everything I would lose everything else. I mean, I need a close under 140 to get any intrinsic value out of this spread. Um, so again, trying to hedge against those risk factors, but you can see, man, between the trade price and the mark right now, just exactly where I'm at. I mean, this is just an insane return. This is 10x or whatever on those on that 140 put there, 10x on the short 135. So yeah, so the extra naked put that I had here, I ended up selling that for about $475. I paid 50 bucks for it. So that's a pretty juicy return. And the reason I just wanted to sell that naked put instead of just more of the spread was that the naked put, because there's no short component to it, and it's just naked. It if again, if it pops up above 140 and somehow we do close above 140 on Friday, that put will end up completely worthless. So while it's worth almost 500 bucks, I'm gonna go ahead and take that off the table and just let these spreads ride because these are hedged with that short put. So anyway, I'm feeling pretty good. You can see the day today just it was just cranking lower. A lot of churn in here. I was watching it, but then into the close, we just accelerated, but there were multiple kind of over the past few days, there were multiple days between now and the last video I made where really it had a significant moves up. So it had this gap down overnight. I'm trying to remember what the news was on that move. I think it was the Elon selling shares because that came out about Wednesday night. Yeah, Wednesday night. So that came out, and then we had this big gap down. But then Thursday morning, we got this huge rip up to 160. So again, when you're this far out of the money and you have such little time to expiration, those put premiums, they get smoked. So my premiums got smoked, but I knew the play I had on, and those are just numbers on a screen, and I know where I needed to get to, and I still liked the technical picture, and so that was just this day here on the 15th, but we've been red ever since. But then another day here overnight, we got this huge gap, 149. We closed on Sunday, or sorry, on Friday, last Friday, and then here on Sunday night or Monday morning, we got this, $9 a share boost from Elon's poll that he put out on Sunday night, which was saying that basically he's stepping down from Twitter because that was the results of the poll. But again, we sold back off, we boosted back up. I mean, that was a crazy volatile day yesterday. We had this huge sell-off and then big rally and then kind of finished flat on the day. But now today, just giving up so much. Today was minus 8%. But, you know, I want to show you guys too let's see if we can go to a larger view here, slightly larger view. So yeah, let's see. This was what was the 12th? It was the 12th was this big kind of red day here. Yeah, so right here, this was the 12th on Monday. So that's when I put this play on, was when price was around here. And I just want to say, because I put that play on for 500 bucks, and I thought it was worth it. But the next morning we got that CPI news, big spike, and I remember at the open I flipped over to the monitor tab as the market opened, and I looked at the premium. And this net liquidity tells you exactly how much you have to lose in the trade. So again, if this closes above 140 and I don't take anything else off and I lose all this, that's $3,500 I have to lose right now, and in pretty much unrealized profit because I've already covered the trade completely and profited on it. And we'll get into that math in just a second, but what was I just saying? Oh yeah, I was looking at it on that morning. That it was just the morning after I put the play on, and we got that CPI spike. And at the open, even though I was only had $500 in the trade, that big spike, I was down like 80% or something. I was like looking, I was like, wait, what? I was down like, I think I had like, my net liquidity was like a couple $100, maybe $100. But then by the end of the day, you can see on that day, we just had that huge cratering. So I was actually, by the end of the day, I was up, on the trade. But that's just how wild the swings can be. But man, this huge decline and just the perfect time frame that I was going for in this trade, looking to get this, to 135 by the, end of by the 23rd, by the end of this week, and that is looking like exactly what is happening. But again, when we have these steep declines, in price, eventually there's gonna be a spike back up, and it's just a matter of when. But I still think we might have one more day of extension here. Maybe it's a doji candle, but I kind of feel like we get a gap down. We'll just have to wait and see. Again, we're not out of the woods with news, and the volume on this name, it sits at the top of my volume list. It's got more than double the volume that Apple had today. So I mean, there's just so much going on with this stock, but I picked the absolute right time to initiate a pretty big short trade that is really boosting my account. So I do want to show too the filled orders. So this is showing all of the take profits I did. So I sold three of the spreads. I sold three batches, or sorry, I sold excuse me, three, one, one. So I sold five. So again, I have 15 left. So I sold five of the verticals, and then I sold out the naked put as well. So the just the single one there. So 175, three of them, and then two of them for 200 bucks, and then one for 475. So if you factor in the cost of the trade, I've already profited. I did the math, $858.27 of profit on the trade. So even if I lose everything else, I've still made 800 and over $850 on the trade. So we're sitting in a really good spot, and this was really just a complete home run, which is awesome. It's like if you're gonna go for a high RR trade, way out of the money, you got to be prepared for low win rates. So that's typically what I like to go for, and I try to just get a slightly better win rate than the odds probably tell me I've got. And if I can get that, then man, you can turn water into wine with these with these out of the money options. So so yeah, that's kind of the math on that. And so then my thinking here is that I still, you know, again, we closed at, we're at 138 right now. So just as it sits right now, my spreads have, $2 of intrinsic value on them if it were to finish up right here at the end of the week. But what I'm thinking is, it's not worth taking much more profit on this because of how much more is left. So if we think it's at 138 right now, then what we can do is come over calculator, and we can, I hope this isn't too small for you guys to see, but again, the distance between the spread, 140 to 135, that's $500 per spread of max profit, right? So if we say that right now there's $2 of intrinsic value, then we can say that there's probably $3 left to get per spread. So that's 300 times 15. So there's probably about $4,500 sitting still on the table if we can get down to 135 by the end of the week. So I knew going into this trade that the max profit was somewhere around $10,000. And again, I put the trade on for 500. So I don't know. You do the math on what that, risk reward is. Pretty incredible. But again, that's just the potential of those out of the money options. If you can catch a big move quickly, that's what you can capture. So this would definitely, if we can inch our way down and close at 135 or under, by December 3rd, by the end of this week, that would make this a very, very Merry Christmas. That'd be probably, I think, yeah, that'd be for sure my biggest option swing trade ever. I mean, for sure. But man, the technical picture on this just looked fantastic. You can ignore some of these lines. I think they're on like a 5-minute chart or whatever, and they just show up on the daily. But anyway, I'll just go over my day trades quickly too, because that just, added icing onto the cake here, because I was able to make about 546 on the day trade. So you can see my account is up over 5 grand today, which I mean, I've never seen that. I don't really show off my account size, but I'll just tell you right now, that's that may be my single biggest day ever in terms of the account. I mean, I'm not really, nothing comes to mind in terms of something bigger than that. Again, this is unrealized profit, but of course it is. I mean, what am I going to do? Liquidate my account? Like, no. So, because I've got other positions too. But let's go over the day trades quickly. I think Apple was my first trade, so let me show trades here. I'll just make this super quick. I ended up losing on this, which was a bummer. I actually most of the day trading today was I was kind of like flat or going back and forth. See if I can get the trades to show up. So here we go. So yeah, I took a short on this. I kind of shorted the bounce on it. I was just watching the market and thinking that we were going to come down. I'm not going to show you guys what the market looked like, but at the time I thought we were going to move down. We did move down, and I added to the trade. I took some profit here. I was looking for the break under 130 and new lows here, but I should have kind of read the signs on this because we got a bottom here, bottom here. This was a double bottom, and then we just rocketed off that, and we really moved up off that double bottom. This is really clean technicals too. I should have been out of this trade faster, but I wanted to let it ride, see if we could get the move back down. But that was just wishful thinking. It was not going to happen. So we got that big boost. So luckily I stopped out of that trade. But again, I was up on that one, so it kind of sucks. And now that I think about it, Nvidia was actually my first trade. So that Apple trade came a little bit later, but my first one was on Nvidia. So I took like a $75 loss right off the bat on this one. Tried to short it for lows, but it caught a quick bid first up above kind of some of these pre-market levels. So I ended up just stopping out on that. But yeah, $75 hit there. Then I took the Apple trade. And then I came back to this one and I tried to catch this one short a few times here. So I shorted 200 shares on this break. Again, I was in the profit here, like a dollar on 50, taking that off, taking some off here, taking some off here. But ultimately, I had to kind of stop out. Or actually, I made money on this 160, 150. So I made money on this trade. But I was trying to get this under VWAP. But if it tries, and it can't do it, it really should have gone here. And then as it kind of bid back up, I was smart enough to take the rest off before we got that quick move back up to the highs. This was a very aggressive trade, only 100 shares, but I shorted right there at the smack dab at the low because I saw this double top and I thought, okay, this is gonna break now, so I'll catch that quick break. It didn't break, and I stopped out on this way up here as I thought, well, it actually looks more likely to break the highs at this point. But then as it started to roll over again, big red candle here, quick green candle, and then all of a sudden I thought, well, this is my favorite pattern, head and shoulders. I'm short, so I went big, and I mean big, man. I shorted 500 shares. So I was like, all right, this is stupid. Let's stop messing around. I'm short 500 because I was like, this looks good, and when it looks good, you got to hammer it. So that's what I did, and it worked. And I said, I'm gonna hammer it, and I'm not gonna take profit until we get to 160 because I was in at 160, 169. So I was like, all right, I want $1 per share. I want out at 160, 69. Is that location kind of arbitrary and is it stupid because it's exactly $1 in the money on the trade? Yeah, I would say so. But the thing is, it doesn't really matter because when you have a head and shoulders pattern like this, um, this is a head and shoulders, uh, that's gonna generate a break, and it's on a bigger time frame, right? You can see the head and shoulders on the 5 minute, so that means it's on a 5 minute time frame. So you'd expect a bigger move on that time frame, So I thought we would get kind of a move down to 160 or so. So setting that target for exactly a dollar, thinking that, well, we're more than likely going to get more than a dollar move. So I thought it was kind of a modest exit. But that was the original plan, was that I was like, oh yeah, I'm just going to get out all 500 for exactly a dollar a share. But as we kind of hesitated here, I mean, again, it looks clean right now, but there was some choppy action here. And again, I had 500 shares short, and I was like, if I let this come back up and become a break-even trade, you know, I'm gonna, you know, that'll suck. I don't want that to happen. So I ended up just I was like, all right, I'll get 100 out here. So I got 100 out here, and then I did the original plan. I got out 300 for exactly a dollar. And I was like, all right, well, I got 100 left. Let's just carry that. So I did, carried it, got out this out here for the last 50, 159.72. That is a pretty good out. I don't think it came back down that low at any point during the day. So nice trade there. Again, when you see something crystal clear, hammer it. Hammer it because that's just how you be a good trader. When you're not confident, take smaller size, but when you're confident, you gotta take big size. That's what I'm trying to be better at because historically I've been pretty bad at that. Usually even when I see something, I'm like, oh man, this looks so good. I just find myself taking smaller size than I should for some reason, but not on this one. This one I was like, I don't even think I'm gonna lose on this, even for a second. So I saw this thing coming down. I'm like, I'm in, shorted 500, carried it down, and banked on it $580. So anyway, so that was the day trading on the day. I did have a trade on Baba, whatever. It's not even really worth going over. It was a quick break. It was just a quick break trade, short right here under these lows. Crack and take profit. Real simple. Um, all right, so yeah, that's it. Mainly just wanted to go over that Tesla trade. I'm also still holding this QQQ put. I think I'll just keep holding that. That expires at the end of this week too. So this one's a little dangerous because we're right there at the 270 point. Let's see, 269.79 right now the QQQ's at. So again, in the money, but only like 20 cents. So we'll see. I'll probably take profit on that tomorrow. And if we get QQQ lower and Tesla lower tomorrow, I'll be taking more profit probably tomorrow. Because at this point, I want that short put to start to decay. That's what I want. This is a lot of premium here, but I want that premium on the short put to start coming down. All right, anyway, this is a bit of a longer one, but I wanted to come on and tell you guys how excited I am about hitting that Tesla short, man, because that oh man, that's great. It's just great. There's nothing else really to say about it. So anyway, all right, that's it from me, guys. If you appreciate this video, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Hopefully, I'll come out with a updates and recaps a little bit more frequently now that I'm kind of set up here. So, all right, that's it from me. Have a good one.